The political landscape in Massachusetts just got a jolt as Representative Seth Moulton, a six-term congressman and former Marine, officially announced a primary challenge against longtime Senator Ed Markey. This isn't just another race. It's a clash framed around age, energy, and the future of the Democratic Party. Moulton, just 46 years old, pointedly highlighted that Markey, now 80, represents the old guard, and argued that Massachusetts and the country needs new leadership to face today's challenges. He framed his campaign around urgency, insisting that Democrats can't afford another 6-year term of status quo politics. The announcement video, shot largely with Moulton running through the streets of his district, immediately set the tone: action, vitality, and personal commitment. He didn't mince words about his dissatisfaction with the current direction of his party, criticizing what he called a failure to effectively counteract the policies and influence of former President Donald Trump. This challenge signals a generational tension within the Democratic Party, echoing similar dynamics nationwide, where younger leaders are stepping forward to contest veteran incumbents. Moulton's campaign is not just a bid for a Senate seat. It's a statement about energy, accountability, and the urgent need for change. He made it clear that his decision to run is deeply personal, rooted not only in policy disagreements, but in his belief that younger generations cannot be left waiting for leadership. By invoking his military experience, including the haunting memory of a fellow Marine lost in battle, Moulton connects his sense of urgency to his personal commitment to serving others, underlining that leadership isn't a matter of tenure, but of responsiveness and courage. Moulton didn't shy away from directly addressing Senator Markey's record and his age, making it a central theme of the campaign launch. He emphasized that while Markey has served for decades, the country is facing new and pressing issues that require fresh energy and ideas. Massachusetts voters have seen long-term incumbency before, but Moulton framed his candidacy as a necessary intervention, arguing that it's not enough to rely on legacy or past achievements. He criticized what he described as the party's old playbook, suggesting that relying on senior leadership alone is no longer sufficient to confront the complex challenges Americans face today. His campaign message blends generational urgency with concrete policy concerns, highlighting areas where he believes Democrats have fallen short in protecting families, advancing progressive goals, and countering conservative initiatives. Moulton's rhetoric is designed to resonate with voters who feel frustrated by incrementalism or cautious politics. He made a personal appeal as well, drawing on his military background to highlight a deep commitment to service and responsibility. By sharing stories of his Marine Corps experience and the moments that shaped him, Moulton paints himself as both disciplined and empathetic, someone willing to confront difficult truths and act decisively. This approach attempts to position him as not just a challenger, but a visionary, ready to bring energy and innovation to the U.S. Senate. It's a calculated strategy, appealing to voters' desire for both authenticity and dynamism in a political climate increasingly defined by calls for new leadership and bold action. Moulton's decision to focus on age as a central point has sparked debate within the Democratic Party. Some view it as a necessary conversation about the importance of new leadership, while others see it as a risky move that could backfire if voters perceive it as disrespectful. Moulton, however, frames it as a matter of urgency, insisting that Americans cannot afford to wait for slow change. By emphasizing that the younger generation will inherit the consequences of current political decisions, he appeals to voters who feel that the party must act decisively. His campaign highlights issues such as economic fairness, healthcare, and climate change, positioning himself as someone who can push forward the progressive agenda more effectively. This strategy contrasts sharply with Markey's long tenure, which Moulton portrays as emblematic of a more cautious, incremental approach. By running, Moulton is challenging not only Markey, but also the broader status quo in Massachusetts politics. He positions himself as energetic, committed, and ready to take risks to achieve meaningful results, seeking to energize voters who crave bold action and a generational shift in leadership. It's a campaign built on urgency, accountability, and the promise of reinvigorated democratic energy. Moulton also emphasizes his experience in the military, highlighting his time as a Marine and the leadership lessons he learned in high-pressure situations. He tells a powerful story of a fellow Marine who died, and how that moment shaped his sense of responsibility and urgency. By sharing these personal experiences, he connects with voters on a human level, showing that his commitment to public service isn't just political, it's personal. Moulton's campaign is designed to portray him as a hands-on leader who acts quickly to solve problems, contrasting with what he calls slow-moving incumbency. He wants to demonstrate that fresh energy and a new perspective are essential for tackling today's challenges, from economic inequality to national security. By tying his personal story to his political vision, Moulton aims to resonate with voters who value courage, decisiveness, and accountability in their elected officials. Moulton's campaign launch also focused heavily on generational change. At 46, he positions himself as part of a new wave of Democrats ready to challenge entrenched leadership. He repeatedly points to the contrast between his energy and Senator Markey's age, framing the race as a choice between maintaining the status quo and embracing new ideas. In interviews, Moulton stresses that younger voters and families are facing unique pressures, from student debt to housing affordability, and that leadership must reflect their realities. He also criticizes Democrats who, in his view, have become complacent, relying on old strategies that no longer resonate with voters. By highlighting his own vigor, commitment, and willingness to confront difficult issues, Moulton aims to inspire confidence that he can fight both in Washington and on behalf of Massachusetts families. Moulton has also emphasized his military background as a defining part of his leadership style. He frequently references his time in the Marine Corps, describing it as a period that taught him resilience, accountability, and the importance of acting decisively in critical moments. In his campaign video, he recalls a moment during a battle when a fellow Marine died, and Moulton felt a personal responsibility for acting sooner. This story is used to underscore his message that he doesn't hesitate to do the hard work and take on difficult challenges, both on the battlefield and in politics. By connecting his personal experiences to his political platform, Moulton hopes to establish credibility with voters who value leadership that is both courageous and empathetic, presenting himself as someone who is ready to tackle both the entrenched party politics and the pressing issues facing the nation. Moulton's campaign launch also comes at a time when generational divides in politics are becoming more pronounced. He is positioning himself as part of a younger cohort of Democrats ready to challenge the status quo, arguing that leadership needs new energy to confront not only Trump and the MAGA agenda, but also to offer fresh solutions on climate change, healthcare, and economic inequality. By directly referencing Senator Markey's age, Moulton is framing this race as more than just a policy debate. It's a debate about the future direction of the party itself. His campaign video reinforces this theme, showing him jogging, engaging with constituents, and speaking candidly about tough issues, aiming to contrast his vitality with Markey's long tenure. This approach highlights Moulton's desire to appeal to younger voters while signaling a break from long-standing patterns of leadership. As the race unfolds, all eyes will be on Massachusetts to see how voters respond to Moulton's challenge. Will his emphasis on youth, energy, and a more aggressive stance against Trump resonate with the Democratic base? Or will Senator Markey's decades of experience and established record secure him another term? Political analysts suggest this race could set the tone for similar generational battles across the country, especially as older incumbents face younger challengers. Moulton's campaign is clearly aiming to inject a sense of urgency, arguing that the next 6 years are too important to rely on the same old playbook. With campaign events, town halls, and debates yet to come, voters will soon weigh in, deciding whether Massachusetts is ready for a change or if experience will prevail. This primary race promises to be a defining moment for both candidates and the Democratic Party as a whole.